So performance budgeting, as I mentioned, it was something that Google introduced at our summit in Australia last year. And, I'll give you an analogy to kind of kick it off, right? So, if we think of McDonald's and we think of a Big Mac, right, or some consumable item like that, there is a price that you're willing to pay for that, and there is a time period that you're willing to wait for it, right? So if you had, a Big Mac, and let's say it was, $5, right? I don't know what the price, obviously different in different regions, but, let's say a Big Mac's going to cost you $5. If you said to somebody, hey, for that same $5, McDonald's are going to offer you a completely custom built burger, right? You're going to be able to choose exactly the ingredients and the components that you want in it and what you don't want in it. And, they're going to give you like, gourmet, burger, and they're going to give you like a, freshly made bread, and they're going to, have a better quality control process around it so that they can make sure that the burger like is put together properly, and it's going to be fantastic. It's still going to cost you $5. Then that would sound pretty good, right?
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, you'd love that. Who wouldn't love that?
Yeah.
But, if the consequence of that change is that people are queuing out the door of the McDonald's because it's taking, instead of a few seconds to make each burger, it's taking 5 minutes to make each burger. And, you have to line up for like, 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour to get to your burger. Suddenly that doesn't look such a good deal for that $5, right? And, McDonald's is costing them more money as well. So, maybe they're having to, reduce their staff to keep their costs down and so on, and that's making the whole situation worse. So the reason I use this analogy is, there's a trade-off, between, the quality of the product that you get and how quickly you get it in most cases. And the same is definitely the same true with websites and digital experiences.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sorry?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It does, right? If it's, fast has a cost to it. Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the concept of performance budgeting is, right, it acknowledges this trade-off, and it tries to force you to justify extra features against the performance overhead it creates, right? So to do this, you need marketing from marketers, developers, product managers, leadership. You need to get everyone working together, right? But if you implement it successfully, you can actually create a framework for making more sensible business decisions or more sensible digital decisions about how your site develops over time. Without this, what you tend to get is a situation where, customers are demanding more and more. Marketers want to obviously make them happy and, reach more customers and deliver more features and functionality. And then the website just gets bloated and it just gets overloaded, and there's no, before you know it, it's taking 15 seconds to load, and you've got this amazing site, but everyone's bouncing off it because it's too slow, right? So it forces you to acknowledge and try and deal with that. So, it's not complicated. It can be simple, right? You agree a set of, parameters, and you can obviously look at, if you're using a tool like New Relic or Application Performance, you can actually look at where your website's at now. And if it's taking 5 seconds to load, but you're getting reasonable ROI, you might say, well, you know what? 5 seconds is pretty good. Like, we're getting good ROI. We're going to set, that's the slowest our site can be. That's our budget, 5 seconds. And any changes we make to our site can't make it any slower than that. Right? Otherwise, we have to make trade-offs about, maybe if I want to bring this feature in, maybe I need to change this or take this off. So it might be, it's got to be less than 1 meg, or it's got to load under 3 seconds on 3G, right? Whatever that is, you've got to understand your audience, but try and put some definitions around, those performance requirements. Make sense?
Makes sense. I love the concept of, if it's not worth waiting for, is it even valuable in the first place? Now, that's a very powerful framing, or a very powerful, first thinking principle, which says, a great way to sort of filter down what are we building or not building. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So, there's some resources on this that I've included at the bottom of this slide, as you can see, for people that want to dig into the concept in more detail. But as I said, there's different ways to look at it. You can set up different, parameters for different parts of your site. Maybe a marketing landing page, you need to be super fast because that's where your new users are coming in. but maybe support pages, maybe you can have those slower because, they're your existing customers. They're going there because they specifically want content they can only get from you, and they're not going to go somewhere else, right? So you can kind of think of it, you can get as complex or as simple as you want. You can also think about setting it in relation to your competitors, right? So, if your site's loading slower than your competitors, they're going to get traffic that you're not getting. So maybe you can say, well, our benchmark is that we want to be at least 20% faster than our competitors at all times. And, we will make trade-offs, on the functionality of our site or the features that we implement in order to make sure that we achieve that. It's a simple concept, but really powerful.